Hi, I'm going to tell you 5 reasons why you should consider a 5-string bass over a 4-string bass. Not that there's anything wrong with a 4-string bass, but these are some reasons for a 5-string bass. First reason for it is the most obvious reason, and that's the extended range. On a 4-string bass, you've got your E through G strings, but on a 5-string, you've got this extra string here of the low B, and that gives you 5 more notes to work with. So here's the E here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down to that extra low B. So that's 5 extra notes that you got to work with. That's great. But that's not the only reason why to choose a 5-string bass over a 4. Now again, not that there's anything wrong with 4-string. If you want to play a 4-string, that's great. I'm just telling you 5 reasons why you might want to play a 5. Okay, so the first reason, now we know, extended range, that's the obvious one, duh. The second reason that you might want to play a 5-string is because it can be a little bit more comfortable to play, especially if you have larger hands. Now, when I first started playing a 5-string bass, it was because a 4-string bass just simply felt too small in my hands. Just felt really cramped up. When I switched to a 5, even though I wasn't using that 5th string yet, everything just felt much more comfortable in my hands because the wider neck just allowed my hand more room to move and just feel more comfortable. So that was a big help for me. Another reason, third reason to play a 5-string bass is that you can actually have some more comfort. In addition to if you've got big hands and it can be more comfortable for you, you can also play in positions that are more comfortable to play. Like for example, if you're playing an F and you're way down here, your arm, I'm over exaggerating of course, but your left arm can be all bent up like this because you just really feel like you're stretching on it. Especially if you're playing, this is a 34 scale neck, but if you're on like a 35, it feels even longer. Whereas on a 5-string bass, you can now move that F here and be, as you can see, I'm not way over here, stretched out like this. My arm is in a more natural flow with my body, as opposed to there. And again, this is just not saying there's anything wrong with playing the F down there. Everybody does. But I'm just saying there's a lot of times when you might want to be in the key F or some other similar key and play more up in this range, maybe even G. You want to play your G up here as opposed to playing your G down here. Again, it can make your comfort level a little bit better because your left arm's in a more comfortable natural position. Number 4th reason to play a 5-string is it can set you up for extra notes that you can hit where you just don't have as... Okay, let me back that up. I just did a terrible job trying to explain that. Let's say, for example, you're in the key of G. And a lot of times, like on our worship team, there'll be times when we're following our worship leader, and at the end of, we play through a chorus, and then when we come back into it, he wants us all to come out and it just to be vocals singing. And usually you don't just want to end on that note, usually you want to kind of like slide it. So when you're, say again, we're in key of G, and you want to be able to slide on a G note, you don't have much room to slide on. But if you slide from the G up here on the B string, you've got a much further distance to slide on. I know you're thinking, wow, you got a little bit more room to slide on certain notes. Why is that a big deal? Yeah, it's not a big deal, but it's an extra amount of options that a 5-string bass gives you, and it's just one more reason why you might want to consider it. And I like it because it gives me the ability to do a lot of slides that I just normally couldn't. Even on an E, you can't slide on an E note unless you go up an octave. But then it's not as full at the higher octave as it would be down at the lower octave. Small things, but they add up. The 5th reason why you might want to play a 5-string bass is because you get to use the anchor technique, which I explained in another video, which you might want to check out. If you don't know what the anchor technique is, it's something that I think I made up. I say I think because There's really nothing new in the world today, so I'm sure somebody else has already thought of this and is doing it, but I came up with it on my own. I don't know who else is doing it. Maybe somebody is, maybe they're not. Again, I'm sure there's somebody is, but until I figure out if there's somebody else who's already developed this technique, I'm just going to call it the anchor technique. And that's where you take your right hand and you put your ring finger on the B string and you use that as a pivot in order to play the other strings, and it allows you to keep your right hand in a fixed location without moving it, without having it off the strings and always having to look down. Okay, where's my right hand? Where's my what string am I on? Anchor technique, I can just, without even looking at my right hand, I just know by where my hand position's at what string I'm doing, and it also allows me to keep that B string muted when I'm not playing it. I can easily still come off that B string and still use it when I'm playing notes on the B string, and then be right back on it when I'm playing something on the E string or higher up. And then also I can move my thumb from string to string to mute strings as I'm going up and down. So if sounds like an interesting technique, check out my video about the anchor technique that I did. You can find it on my channel. But anyway, those are the 5 main reasons that I think you should consider a 5-string bass. Again, there's nothing wrong with a 4-string bass. It's just that the 5 just gives you a little bit more room to work with. And again, if you've got bigger hands, it's a little bit more comfortable, in my opinion, to play. So, but otherwise, pick whatever you want. And God bless you. Thank you for watching this video.